Hello once again, my fellow Pikminites. I've just been standing here waiting for these to bud, and I am recording again, and I could not care less. There is one more pellet for me to collect. I do not recall off the top of my head where it is located. Locale, that's a way to talk, it sure is. I think it's up one of these guys. But anyway, part 2 of Let's Play Pikmin. We are just finishing up the crash site for, well, the first out of 2 visits. The second will likely occur once we have blue Pikmin and bomb rocks and whatnot. Excuse me. But anyway, just farming Pikmin at the moment. We need 1 or 2 more in order to carry my engine with maximum velocity. Man, I really miss Pikmin 2. They had lots of nice power-ups. Hopefully Pikmin 3 will come out soon, and I can Let's Play that as soon as it comes out, and I will get millions and billions of subscribers for Let's Playing a new game for once, because I think I don't know what the game I Let's Played closest to its release is, probably Halo 3 or something, which I did a few months ago, which, as you may notice, is not particularly recent. Hooray, it's a thing. Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Well, yeah, I don't think I was going to go too far without an engine. Fate has smiled upon me, but how will I get it back to the Dolphin? To answer the, obviously coming question, yes, I do know it was falling, and wacky things can happen while it's falling, but any propulsion outside of gravity and its current momentum would be lost as the engine splits away from the main body of the ship. Therefore, the main body of the ship and the engine would land in generally the same area unless the engine somehow kept running without a fuel supply, which seems highly unlikely. So therefore, it sort of makes sense, and I am smart and have thought about things in video games, therefore I'm a better person than you. Anyway, Pikmin, you certainly are going quite fast. I'm going to fall down. I wish I remembered how to fall down. I think I need a power-up to fall down. Oh well. Whoop, that flipped it right back up. And the ship's starting to look flyable again. Well, it's definitely flyable again. Some things are randomly moving around, and it is nowhere near as dramatic as the other significant upgrades because you are flying a skeleton with an engine. Oh, glorious! With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back towards home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. But what has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow. Do 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 do. This is endearing. I'm sure that tune is familiar to far more people than Pikmin is, or, well, not Pikmin the concept, but Pikmin the game, because it was in the Super Mario Brothers, and it was among the few real songs in the Pikmin level. One day since impact, I have somehow managed to launch the Dolphin, but I was surprised to see the Onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface. That's an excellent hypothesis, considering they had obviously been there before you. Or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. The Dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hockatate. Analysis shows life support systems will function for only 20 more days. 29 more days. How can I repair my Dolphin in such a short time? And this is tacking on lots and lots of extra space on my video, so I will only be narrating the important parts, I guess. Steady increase in Pikmin population. I didn't lose any in battle or leave any behind. I'm doing excellent so far. I was totally expecting to have most of my Pikmin die today. Anyway, there is obviously a second part in that area, or not so obviously if you don't know the star telling you where parts are, but stars tell you where parts are. There you go. But that part you require all 3 Pikmin to get, and that's generally a fun day whenever you decide to do that, because you get to mostly use the abundant resources in the landing site to do stuff. My dolphin has returned to the surface along with the Pikmin's onion. Being alone on this strange planet makes me somewhat uneasy, so I shall call the Pikmin out of the onion. All I need to do is stand in the light beneath the onion and press A. Amazing how he knew that somehow. Go, Pikmin, go! I'll set some of them to work on this gate. This is actually an extraordinarily good beginner RTS, because you have to think about what you're doing, but it's not going to absolutely come back and eat wieners in the butt if you do it wrong, like in pretty much every other RTS. Well, I mean, it's not to say this one in particular is a pretty hard game, considering it's a Nintendo and Nintendo's for babies. But, yep, this is an excellent game, I have to say. I don't really, wait, yes, I do like this music, never mind, I was thinking of something else. Yeah, this is the one problem. I mean, it definitely adds to the dramatic tension and overall atmosphere of the game, but waiting for stuff like this is not the best of times in the Let's Play. And I can't even say it doesn't happen that frequently, as it's a primary thing to make you not run around with no Pikmin killing everything like I usually do in Pikmin 2 and stuff. But anyway, let's kill our very first Bulborb. What an epic and fulfilling fight. I'm raping all these that would otherwise supply yellows with things, because I'm not very good at thinking about what I'm doing. You can hear a somewhat distressing come from the dead Bulborbs in this. If you are familiar with Pikmin from the Play It on the Wii version, you would hear a delightful squeak, which does not bode terribly well for Pikmin 3, because one of the best parts of Pikmin, in my opinion, was the fact that even though it starred kawaii little plant monsters, it was not a completely carefree and happy-go-lucky game. But that's just a little too much for Nintendo's audience to think that anything could die, I guess. So, Pikmin suffers. Yeah, the baby Bulborbs are not abundantly excellent at not dying. I'm honestly surprised no Pikmin died in that fight, but they are just babies, or they're technically bred bugs, but I don't know, Pikmin 2 is doing all kinds of crap to the poor canon of Pikmin. So, Pikmin, this is certainly as quick and automated as developing troops and other RTSs, but that's part of its charm, I believe. I have to say this is pretty much one of my favorites, favorite Nintendo IPs. It's just an excellent game, excellent music, great graphics, great concept, executed very well. I wholeheartedly recommend getting the GameCube version if at all plausible, because the Wii version is too easy and child-friendly. It really ruins the atmosphere to have all the wiggle and waggle going on, in my opinion. Of course, I'm a grumpy old man, so don't pay much attention to what I say. The Play It on the Wii Pikmin is certainly an excellent game too, and although a bit of a money-grubbing tactic, in my opinion, or in the common opinion, rather, I do understand Nintendo has a very different fan base than they used to back when this was released, and they need to know another intriguing discovery of area. Ah man, so much for narrating in Olimar voice. But anyway, yes, Nectar makes flower Pikmin, and not nearly as efficient as in Pikmin 2, or at least I have more difficulty with it here. But anyway, we are about halfway done with the day, so I'm going to have to end this part here. And in the next part, we will end the first serious day, hopefully get a treasure or two, and probably unlock yellow Pikmin, so I'll see you then.